Something we love as human beings is to have a celebration. And so I'd like to talk to you today about another reason we should celebrate in life, especially in your family life. Now, celebration is important for us as human beings because, well, it makes us more human because it talks about something we've grown in, a progress we've made, maybe an accomplishment that we've finally achieved, or maybe a conclusion that we have in our lives that finally we're celebrating an end to. Or maybe even an end to a life that we're celebrating the benefits of that life and the goodness that it has brought to our life. Celebration is also important in our faith, right? It's part of our human nature that we need to celebrate the aspects of our faith as well. We celebrate each day a saint that's part of our liturgical calendar, that we remember their life in some way, and we look to them for models of a way to live that has brought them to that encounter with God at the end of their life. We also celebrate the liturgical seasons. We go through the different moments of the year, remembering the life of Christ and how we can use these moments to also apply it to our own lives and grow in our understanding of God and how we can come to know him better. And we also celebrate the mysteries of the life of Christ, right? We have the different feast days of our Lord throughout the liturgical year that we grow in our union with him through the different experiences that he had that can also apply to our lives. But I'd like to invite you to celebrate one more that maybe you already do or maybe you don't. And it's kind of like a birthday, right? We all know that celebrating a child's birthday is a very important moment in life. And especially because they're looking forward to that moment of one more year of life, one more year of grace, one more year of being present in the family that they live in, right? Giving thanks for their mom and dad, for their brothers and sisters. And oftentimes the excitement has been turned to, well, they receive gifts or they're acknowledged on that day in a special way. But I think that there's another aspect that we can bring in that is also equally important. We can celebrate the baptismal day of our child, right? Go back and look up that date. It's something that, as I grew up in my legionary life as a seminarian, it was something that we started to celebrate in the seminary, not necessarily in my family life, which I shared later on, but it's something that I have come to cherish as the day that I became a child of God, right? The day that I was born into the Catholic faith. And it's a day that every year I go back and look at and understand the meaning behind it and go back and understand the great gift that I have been given when I received the gift of faith. And so that's something that I would also invite you to incorporate into your family life. Go look up your children's baptismal days and go back with them and celebrate those days, right? It's a fun thing to allow them to choose the meal maybe on that day as they would maybe on a birthday, but to make it a special day for them that you're celebrating. Maybe you go to Mass with them on that day. Maybe you light their baptismal candle and say a prayer as a family on that day for that specific child. Or maybe you can even go back and look at the pictures of their baptism and remember the different signs and symbols that happen on that day to remember what is actually happening, how Christ is claiming them for himself and inviting them to come to that encounter eternal with God. Another day that I think is also a fun one to celebrate that maybe is something new for your family, but each child has a name, right? And in the church, we have the patron saints. And if they don't have a name that corresponds to a saint, well, maybe pick a patron saint with them. Have them choose a saint that they identify with, just like we do on All Saints' Day. And have them look up the story of that saint. Find the virtues that saint expresses through their life, and that helps understand a little bit why that child has chosen that saint or why that name was chosen for that child. And to celebrate that day in a special way, like a birthday, right? Another reason to celebrate is never a bad thing in our family life. We need those moments of celebration because it brings the family together. It helps us to become more human. It also helps us to identify with our faith. And so as you go into this next week, I invite you to continue to look for those moments to celebrate. We need to have those moments as a family to live joy, to live the grace of God in our daily life, and to also bring our liturgy, our faith, into our daily life. May God bless you in this next week.